already on my calendar.
So I will send you, Jackie, and also all our elected officials, the mayor. We're inviting the city manager, planning commissioners, everybody in the city to learn more about these resources that we have, so then they can bring it back to their city and continue this movement and persuade those cities that are still a no in our sheet, and continue to dust off those resolutions that many cities already have, and
stuff done.
Whatever you want me to do, I would be more than happy, so that's where
I'm gonna make you my friend. I'm excited that I'm gonna work on that. Nice to have you here. Hi.
Education opportunity, sorry, I forget. There's the education opportunity, scholarships in education and homicide.
Excellent. Our
I
mayor knows.
actually received one of your scholarships.
That is awesome. And I'm president, I forgot to let you know.
Our
Of the
time
Women's
talk is
Club.
over.
Of the Women's Club.
thinks, and correct me if I'm wrong, our farmer's market